At this point, y'all could throw the whole season 17 away. At this point. So, hey guys, it's your girl Victoria back to you with another review for Married at First Sight season 17, episode 7, called A Honeymoon, Rockier Than the Mountains. I mean, it ain't even a honeymoon no more at this point, because, Orion, please, if you don't want to be here, just say that. But, okay, so we're picking up where we left off last week. Speaking of Orion, with Lauren and Orion having a discussion after Lauren done said she had sex 2 months ago from their honeymoon or whatever. And, she's kind of getting annoyed with Orion because he keeps talking. She don't want to talk about it no more. She done shut off. So she's like, she wants to have a quiet rest of the dinner. And Orion's like, he can't keep quiet. And then Lauren, she's getting emotional because she don't want to talk about it. So Orion does go quiet, but he does attempt to apologize, but she doesn't accept the apology because he's just like, oh, I'm sorry if I got you upset. And she's like, don't be apologizing if you really don't mean that apology and whatnot. And then we move on immediately after to Emily and Brennan. They have dinner. They talk about kids, religion, and sports. And Emily talking about she don't want her kids to be raised up Catholic because I believe she got raised Catholic and I guess she didn't like the way it was. So I guess Brennan, he's Jewish, so she doesn't mind converting to Judaism, all that stuff. So he's appreciative of that. They talk about sports and she's a Broncos fan. So since she was willing to compromise, so I guess he's willing to compromise too and become a Broncos fan. That's cool. That's cute. Whatever. Back to Orion and Lauren. That's why I didn't say nothing just for the last scene because it's going to be Lauren and Orion for this whole episode at this point. So we get back to Lauren and Orion. They get to their hotel room. And they talk in bed. And pretty much Lauren just wants Orion to stand 10 toes down on what he said about, oh, since you had sex 2 months ago, sex is off the table for me. So I guess now he's trying to say, oh, it's part of the reason why sex is off the table, but that's not the sole reason why sex is off the table. But Lauren's just like, so it's part of the reason, but when we was at the table, you said that was the reason, you said, oh, because of that, sex is off the table. So it's like, which one is it? If that's what it was before, you need to stand 10 toes down on what you said, like, what's going on here? Why are you lying? So Orion tries to kind of go around the bush, doesn't give no definitive answer, but tries to stress that he's not judging her because Lauren advised that, she felt like she was being judged. And we've seen that since last week. So he's trying to say he's not judging her, which is a damn lie. Like, just be honest, Dad. Like, I just, a lot of things can move so quickly. A lot of marriages, a lot of relationships, a lot of, talking and stuff can be seized if people were just honest from the get-go. Okay? Because even though I'm kind of jumping the gun here, I just feel like with Orion, bro, if you're not feeling her or you don't want this marriage, just say that. You would get your wish far quicker to just be honest and express how you feel instead of doing all this just to get out of the relationship. Because at this point, I just feel like you're doing whatever you can to get out of the relationship. It don't make no damn sense to me. But there was no resolution that was reached here, so they go to bed. And then we move on to Cameron, I guess, and Claire waking up the next morning. He has a possible ear infection because he feels like a sharp object is being pushed into his head. And he was feeling like that ever since they had their little water activity the day before. So he says he's going to go see a doctor. And Claire said, she wishes she could go with them, but she's not going to because she got a work meeting to do. And I'm just like, so your work didn't know you was going to go on vacation and be on a honeymoon and whatnot? Like, I mean, I don't remember what she does, but I guess duty calls. And even when you're on vacation, if you have a work call to take or a work meeting to be in, you're going to be part of that work meeting. Listen, look, kudos to everyone who is a CEO and does what they need to do to be on top of things. Me, I'm not one of those people, okay? Because if I'm on vacation, no. Even when I'm home, if I'm off of work, if I'm not on the clock and work is calling me, I'm not going to answer. I'm not going to, I could be in a parking lot. If work is calling me, I'm not going to answer if I'm not on the clock. No, absolutely not. And on vacation, I'm not even in the United States of America. And you think I'm going to be like, oh yeah, let me take this work meeting. If you think I'm going to do that, you obviously don't know who I am, because that absolutely not. Absolutely not. Like, I barely even, answer phone calls and stuff for people outside of work. Because if I answer your phone call, I must really like you. We must be like really cool because I do not like talking on the phone. I hate talking on the phone. I don't like no FaceTime. I don't like no phone call. So yeah, if I already do that for like family and friends, if we not like close and all that stuff, you think I'm gonna do answer work or be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make this work meeting? No. Like I know y'all still getting to know each other and stuff, clear, but like if I was on a honeymoon or on vacation and with your significant other and whatnot, and God knows what happens the day before. I need the next day for recovery. Listen, I'm just saying. Okay, look, I'm not putting my business out there, but I'm just saying, like, I'm on vacation. Okay, I already don't drink, and what if I drink something and I have a hangover? And like, I'm on vacation. I'm enjoying myself. You think I'm gonna, even if it's for an hour, I'm not gonna take an hour out of my peace away from this dang job to then be on this dang phone call and be stressed with what y'all got going back in the States. No, I'm on an island right now. I'm in Mexico. Okay, I'm in Cancun. No, say that for when I get back. Say that. Send me the meeting minutes. I'm still not gonna look at it because I'm on vacation. But I'll look at the meeting minutes when I get back. Okay, when I get back to work, not in the States. When I get back to work. Anyway, but like I said, this is why I can't be no supervisor, no manager, no CEO, because it's like no matter what you do, where you at, I guess you still gotta be involved in. No. I'll stay, as a subordinate or whatever you want to call it, because what you not finna look. I already spent too much time talking, but I'm just saying. Good for you, Claire. Make your money, but I'm out spending the money on vacation, even though technically our vacation was free. Anyway, we then move on to Becca and Austin. They have breakfast on the balcony, with Becca, Austin, and his hat. I thought it was one hat, but coming to find out when it was packing later on in the episode, he had multiple hats hanging. So I'm like, oh, okay, at least he got multiple black hats. So that's good. That's very good. I'm cool. Brownie points to you, Austin, for that. So they're talking. Becca wants to talk about religion, but Austin doesn't want to have that talk about it right now because he doesn't want to scare her off. In my head, I'm thinking like, so are you atheist or something? If you something, stand 10, as Lauren said, that should be what the episode should have been called, 10 toes down. Stand 10 toes down. In this moment, I'm like, okay, Austin, you must be atheist or something. If you are, listen, that's what you believe, or not believe, whatever. Be honest. This is what I'm talking about. Honesty is key, people. Communication, honesty, key. Because if y'all just was honest from the get-go, not even half, like 90% of these marriages will be done before the honeymoon. I'm just saying. But he don't want to talk about it right now, which, once again, like I mentioned last week, I can understand because you're on vacation, you're on your honeymoon. You want to just enjoy. You don't want to have no serious conversations. But, sometimes I guess it's good to have the serious conversation. Look at Lauren and Orion, but he don't want to talk about it right now. Okay, whatever. We move on to Lauren because this is the Lauren and Orion episode, clearly. She said that, the next morning, even though they went to bed together, the next morning Orion wasn't in the bed with her, and they had more of a convo last night after the cameras done stopped rolling. And, there's very still much heavy tension. Okay, whatever. What else is to be expected with this episode, seeing how it turned out the way it turned out. We then move on to Emily and Brennan. They play sports, and then after they play some sports, they sit down and talk. So Emily asks him a question, was like, oh, do you know how to have fun? Or something in regards to does he have fun? Or if he likes to have fun. Brennan gets in his feelings about the fact that she asked him. He's like, what the F? And then she's just like, it's just a joke. But he doesn't take it as a joke. And he keeps commenting on the fact that she asked him if he likes to have fun. And at this point, it was literally at this point, this scene in this episode that I was watching, that y'all was watching, that I was like, what is going on with the men here? Because I just really don't understand, Orion and his feelings about every damn thing, every damn episode. Now you got Brennan. I mean, he seems like he's the same type of person too, but he just been enjoying his time with homegirl Emily, that he hasn't really gotten to that point yet. But clearly we see he's starting to get to that point, because now you keep talking about, because she asked you a simple question of, does he like to have fun? Now, granted, I will admit, I do take things seriously too. It used to be way worse back then. I'm getting better, but I'm not perfect. There's still certain times where I'm just like, say what not. But I don't know, for a question of, do you like to have fun? I don't feel like I will take that too personally, but maybe because a lot of people ask him if he likes to have fun, because you kind of give off snooze fest vibes. I ain't gonna lie, Emily, that was actually a very good question. But he probably gets that a lot, so that's why he probably in his feelings and stuff. But at the same time, it's like, bro, calm down. It's really not that serious. It's really not that serious. In the moments where I feel like people, the moments where I'm serious, take things seriously, and people be like, relax, it was just a joke. I kind of let it go. I'm at the point now where I could kind of let it go. And, we just move on. Let bygones be bygones, because I know I take things seriously and I am a super overthinker. But, I'm trying to learn to be better. I'm trying, okay? Still a lot of progress to be had with me. But we're getting there, okay? So with this, in regards to Brandon, calm down, okay? She said it was a joke. She seems like a person that jokes a lot. Like, the girl never been in a relationship. So, I mean, obviously, she'll take things seriously. No offense to Emily. No shade. But, you think she really... It was a joke, bro. Calm down. We move back on to Lauren and Orion. Okay, what else we going to talk about in this episode, clearly? And, they finally meet up in the hotel room and talk, and Orion apologizes and admits that, he dropped the ball last night, and, I thought they made up, and, they was hugging and snuggling and stuff, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna move past this. Ha! I was wrong. So then we move on to Cameron and Claire. He went to go see the doctor. Coming to find out that the doctor wasn't on staff or whatever, wasn't helpful, so he's going to the city to see another doctor. Claire wishes she could go with him, but can't because she had the work meeting. We already talked about that. Whatever, Claire. And that was it. They part ways until later on that night. So then we get to Becca and Austin. They sit at the beach and they talk, and they finally discuss the religion thing. Becca grew up, it seemed, from the way the conversation was had, because I didn't write anything down word for word. I'm just putting like basic notes in here, because literally this episode was about Orion and Lauren, so everybody else kind of took a backseat to this review. Anyway, so from what I gathered, it seemed like Becca was saying that, she grew up with religion, versus Austin, it seemed like he was saying he didn't grow up with religion. So like I said, I'm like, are you an atheist, or you just don't have any religion that you're necessarily attaching yourself to? But it's like, if someone else wants to believe in it, that's cool. They didn't really go too much in depth, but it seems like no matter what, they're going to still move forward with, building the relationship and whatnot. So I'm like, okay, cool. We're not even worried about y'all at this point. It's really about Orion and Lauren at this point, because they keep coming up on our screens. We have to see their faces 3 billion times this episode. So back to Orion and Lauren, like I was just mentioning to you. So they're sitting on the balcony and have a doctor session with Dr. Pia. So Orion gets emotional while talking with Dr. Pia and makes mentions of tones that were had the night before, and it made him uncomfortable. And I'm like, okay, if we took a shot for every time these people use uncomfortable, look, Orion might be mad at me now because I said these people. Anyway, if we took a shot for every time the word uncomfortable was used at this point in this season, specifically between Orion and Lauren, I'd be drunk. Once again, I don't drink like that. I drink, but I don't drink. Like, I drink socially. So after like one glass, 2 tops, I'm good. I'm good. Like, I'm not drunk, but like, I'm good. I'd be drunk. I would be drunk, because y'all using uncomfortable way too much. Okay, y'all trying to show conversational intellect, but it's not really giving what it's supposed to give, because at this point, I'm annoyed. So Dr. P advises them to talk about the relationship, or think about the relationship as a emotional bank account. You pour into the bank account, and whenever you have an argument or something happens, you kind of withdraw from that bank account. That was a good metaphor in comparison. Yeah, they good at that stuff. For me, I'm just like, I mean, good analysis and metaphor and stuff, but I'm just like, just be real with them, Dr. P. We don't got to use all these analysis and metaphors, okay? Just you pouring into the relationship, and whenever you do something, you taking out from the relationship. Just bank account. No. The only time we need to be talking about bank account is about money, okay? But, Orion felt like with their conversation the night before, it was a huge withdrawal or whatnot. Lauren doesn't agree, but I guess like, I don't feel like they made up, but it seemed like it was more so of a like, we're gonna let bygones be bygones type of thing, and they're still not 100% afterwards after they talked to Dr. Pia, to the point Lauren said she's gonna give Orion some time to himself because he's still feeling like inadequate or whatever the case may be. So okay, we move on. Everyone meets up for dinner, except for Cameron, but then he then shows up with a lot of roses for Claire, so that was very sweet, and even she said it, like everybody thought it was sweet. So I'm just like, you see, I really thought y'all was not gonna make it. I mean, y'all still might not make it, but I just feel like this is the example of like, even though they kind of was from all the couples, Michael's not included because he not part of this no more. But out of the four couples that's still standing right now, it's like they're the slow burning couple. Like they started least chemistry wise, but it seems like if it were to progress in the way it seems like it's progressing now, that they will finish first by the end of the 8 weeks. But Married at First Sight be on some BS, on some fugazi type stuff. So who's to say that's really gonna happen? I don't think it's gonna happen, but it's like you can see how this could be one of those like love brewing type of relationship type things. But it may not be that with them, because even the hugs be like side church hugs, and so it may not be nothing. But anyway, so they discuss things about their relationships, how things are going, like all the four couples. And in the confessional, Orion lets us know, and this is what where I said I'm done with this episode. I am done, because he lets us know in the confessional that the whole conversation that they had on the balcony with the whole Redskins and the race and culture is still a big obstacle for him. And I said, so we're never gonna move past this. I thought we were done. We're now on to we're now on to the whole sex thing. So like, I don't understand. Okay. In my head, I'm just really like, so the fact that now you were put at blame, so now we're going to go all back. Not that it was so far away, but we're going to go back to the whole Redskins conversation just so you can, feel like you're on top again, superior, and put blame on Lauren. That's what it feels like. It's like, now that you were in the wrong, it's like, let me go back to that conversation and say I'm not over it, so I could make sure Lauren's back in the wrong, so I could feel superior, so it's like I could play victim. Because that's what you're doing. This whole by the end of this episode, I'm like, Orion, you're playing victim. Now, no one's saying you can't feel how you feel, but I'm just like, if we're going to this extent, you're in a marriage, and you're talking about you were so, invested into this marriage and stuff, but it's like, to the point where now you can't even forgive your wife over a joke that like yes, that was ignorance on Lauren's part, but at the same time, it's like, she didn't even, like, bro, it's not even really on her, it's on you. You brought it up. I mean, if she never brought up that conversation, none of this would have happened. But it's just like, bro, like, this is your wife. So if you planning on continuing with her, at what point are we going to try to let bygones be bygones and move forward? Because if you can't move forward, then you don't need to be in a relationship. I mean, technically, with your situation, and you talking about you wanted things 80-20, but you can't even financially do that, but you want to get married at first sight, shows you shouldn't have been in this process, or, chosen to be married at first sight in the first place. So this kind of confirms and solidifies for me that you shouldn't be here. You shouldn't be married at first sight, because if you're going to let something like a little comment, jokey joke really upset you to that effect, to the point you can't even forgive her and move forward, you don't need to be here. Once again, I'm jumping the gun. But I'm very annoyed with Orion, especially this episode. So we move on to day 8 of marriage. Claire and Cameron, they talk in bed. And I guess they talk about going to the new apartment, how the traveling was when they initially came here, and how it's going to be different when they travel back home. We get to Lauren and Orion. I guess they was up all night talking until like 3 a.m. about the relationship. And I guess Orion told Lauren that he felt like a minority in their marriage from the Redskins convo. I said, okay, Orion, just be gone. Because at this point, I'm like, you must be purposely self-sabotaging a relationship so you could get out of it. You could get out of this marriage and go back to doing you. If that's the case, just say you don't want to be in it. Like, just be honest. You don't want to be in it. That's it. That's it. We move on to Austin and Becca. They talking bad about moving in together when they get back to Colorado. And I guess him not being deterred by her health issues and everything that's going on. Okay, cool, moving on. Everyone was packing. Okay, Claire meets up with Lauren. Lauren's crying in a corner because I guess her and Orion had another conversation where Orion told Lauren that he felt like she didn't have his back and she attacked him in his community and she failed him. She failed the marriage. And I guess Lauren was heated in the moment. She took her ring off, said she wanted a divorce. Lauren, you should have. You told Orion to stand 10 toes down on what he done said. Lauren, I think this is the moment you should have stood 10 toes down on wanting a divorce, because if you having all this riffraff in the honeymoon, I can only imagine when you get back to Colorado, especially when he has his posse with him, where he'll probably make you feel more bad about it. Even to the point, no, we're going to jump the gun because we're about to get there anyway to the Zoom call, okay? To the point, well, the next scene is the Zoom call. To the point he makes it known that he going to let his community know. He going to let his family know what done happened. They're obviously going to see it on TV anyway later on down the line, so might as well let them know what done happened. And I'm just like, oh, see, if we already on that point where we can't keep a marriage conversation between us, even though it's, broadcasted for the world, that should tell you all you need to know, Lauren. Pack your bags, leave, and don't go to the shared apartment. Go home. Go home, because Orion ain't for you. You ain't for Orion. You know who Orion needs to be with? Himself. Okay? He needs a lot of self-reflection. Not saying, like I said, not saying he, doesn't deserve to feel how he feels. But if we're to the point you can't forgive your wife and move forward when she honestly wasn't trying to purposefully hurt you, and she's done that plenty of times, and she even expressed she's done a lot of self-education and trying to learn about his culture. Are you trying to learn about her culture? Because just watching her lay down her edges is not doing much. It's not learning about her culture. So for her being proactive and trying to learn your culture and stuff, that's what are you doing for her? Because you seem very I'm the victim. You seem very selfish. And I was even talking with my mom about this. I said with Lauren and Orion from like the wedding, the reception, where he was like all about his culture. I told my mom, I'm like, I feel like I'm concerned because I feel like he's gonna be more focused on her learning his culture versus him learning her culture. And that's exactly what I see here, to the point you're literally like, I feel like you're choosing to, what's the word? Like your purpose, what is the word? Victoria, think about this. Like you're purposely, you're taking all the hurt from everybody that ever said anything derogatory and all that stuff, and you're putting it on Lauren. And I'm just like, for why? So he zooms past her cow, Orion zooms past her cow and explains, his feeling on the whole Redskins conversation. And Pastor Cow wants to speak with Lauren. So everybody's ready to get on this bus so they can go to the airport. But obviously, the producers and Pastor Cow have other things planned. So that's why they pull Lauren to come talk with Pastor Cow and Orion. And, well, actually, first she talks with Pastor Cow by herself. So after her, crying to him and explaining her side, Pastor Cow was just like, do you want a divorce? Goes to commercial for dramatic effect. Comes back from commercial for dramatic effect. She's like, no. And I'm really like in flabbergasted. I'm looking around like, you sure? What? I'm just really like, Lauren, we're not going to stand 10 toes down. What? I mean, I know they got a fee and everything, so she must not want to pay the fee. But I'm just like, you really about to sit in non-peace, in turmoil, toxicity for 8 weeks? I mean, if it's $50,000, that's a lot of money. I don't know about it. Well, some people do, but I don't got no $50,000 to be, paying. So I understand, but at the same time, it's just like, damn, like I don't know, like what's $50,000 fine that you don't have. I mean, I'm sure you could, I'm sure they have payment plans. I'm sure they have payment plans. I mean, it's gonna be taking a long time for me to pay $50,000. But I'm sure they have payment plans. I'm sure you're going to get paid for some of the episodes. They'll automatically deduct that from your $50,000. But I don't know. It's just, no, in all seriousness, though, like, the way things are going with Orion and stuff, I would have said yes, I want a divorce, because this, no. So, Pastor Kyle brings back in Orion. Once again, this is where she talks about she's doing everything to educate herself about his culture, all that stuff. Orion said it's not enough. Once he said that, that would have made me stand even more 10 toes down on I want a divorce. Because if that's not enough, her apologizing, her doing self-education stuff, like what do you want from her, Orion? Like what she did she apologized, she's doing self-education. What else you want her to do? Like, I don't understand. What else do you want her to do, Orion? Because at this point, it's like, do you want to continue the relationship? Because if you don't, just say that. But you probably can't afford to pay the $50,000. So that's why you're going, you already here, you're going to try to stick to it. But it's like I said last week, what's it going to be next week? Every week seems like going to be something. And now that you couldn't find nothing else to talk about or complain about this week, now we're going to go back to the Redskins conversation and how it hurt you so much and your family and your culture. Listen, and you said even people in your culture use derogatory stuff. So it's just like, bro, I'm like, he said, especially his mom. Okay, maybe you guys are people who are overly sensitive, and I'm not saying that to downplay the whole Redskins comment and stuff, but it's like she didn't even know what it meant. Like, she didn't even know what it meant. You had to explain to her what it meant. So her trying to, make a little jokey joke, and, I'm unfortunately do the same thing sometimes when I'm not, listen, everybody's ignorant about something. So she was ignorant about knowing what Redskins meant and whatnot, and made the joke like, oh, I see your face is that, because your face is red and, is your skin. So it's just like, bro, she wasn't even trying to say it in that way. Like, she wasn't trying to, like, offend you or whatever. So I felt like I need someone from your culture, from your community, to let you know, bro, you tripping. Because at this point, bro, you tripping. So Lauren cries, she walks away. But she comes back, and Orion talking about he can't move past this. I'm just like, okay, then be done. Because I'm telling you right now, this is episode 7. I'm not about to talk about this for the next 10, 12 weeks. Because Orion still can't get past the fact that she offended him and his community unintentionally. That's where the episode ends. I'm exhausted because I'm just like, Orion, bro, like, y'all don't need to be together. If this is not no inclination for y'all to just end things right now, I don't know what is. Because if we move past this and y'all stay together, Lauren, I'm letting you know right now, he's going to bring this Redskins conversation back up. And God forbid y'all even get to the point where y'all have kids, which I highly doubt. He going to be letting y'all kids know that you called them Redskins back when y'all first met. End it. Just end it at this point. End it. We don't need it. Y'all need to end it just like homegirl ended it with Michael from the altar. That's not nice. I hope Michael's okay. Anyway, that was the end of the episode. Okay, I gotta go to sleep because they made my head hurt. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Okay, if you laughed at least once, please subscribe. If you didn't laugh, listen, it was a heavy, episode. I know sometimes, even though I try to make jokey jokes to make light of the situation, it don't be helping. So sometimes, people don't laugh. So if you didn't laugh, that's okay. Come back next week. Hopefully I don't have to talk about these people too much, Lauren and Orion. And hopefully my jokey jokes land with you so you could laugh and then subscribe, please. Comment down below what you thought about this episode. Be easy breezy lemon squeezy. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.